Welcome to Breakdown, and welcome to episode 5. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a hidden world, one that's incredibly demanding and, well, it impacts all our lives, the public safety dispatcher. Most of us have only heard their voice maybe on a 911 call, but few truly grasp the immense legal and ethical weight they carry. Our mission in this deep dive is to unpack the intricate responsibilities these first responders bear. We'll explore what it truly takes to be exemplary, from the foundational principles right up to the high-stakes decisions made under, well, immense pressure. We're going to start with the basics, then dive into some pretty complex real-world scenarios, including a pivotal legal case, just to understand how critical every single action and decision can be.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is that while our lives often intersect with dispatchers, during moments of crisis, we rarely stop to consider the complex framework they operate within, the legal obligations, the ethical imperatives. It's huge. This deep dive, I think, will really illuminate not just what they do, but why their integrity, their impartiality, and their strict adherence to protocols are absolutely paramount. These things shape outcomes that can literally be, well, life or death.
Okay, so let's start simple then. The basics. Who are these vital links between us, the citizens, and the field personnel?
Yeah.
Police, fire, paramedics, you might hear them called different things, right? Like communications officer, maybe emergency services dispatcher, or telecommunicator.
Those are common titles.
But whatever the title, I found this quote from an anonymous dispatcher that really captures it. It said, "I am the voice that calms the mother breathing life into her infant son. I am the invisible hand that holds and comforts the elderly man. I am an emergency dispatcher, and I am proud."
That's powerful. It really speaks to the core of the role. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these individuals, they operate within various 911 communication centers. Could be state, county, municipal, sometimes even private ones. They serve as primary or secondary public safety answering points, or PSPs, that's the technical term.
PSAPs.
They provide that essential access to emergency services. And crucially, that includes translation for callers who might be hearing or speech impaired. Their core duties, well, they're broad: accepting calls, evaluating them, providing radio dispatch services.
That coordination piece seems huge, too.
Absolutely. Coordinating with other agencies, handling emergency notifications. It's a dynamic hub, really.
And it sounds like a lot because, well, it is. The environment itself, you mentioned pressure. It's constantly high pressure. It can swing from, totally quiet to incredibly intense in just minutes. That takes a significant emotional toll, I imagine.
Oh, definitely.
But it all ties directly into the broader public safety mission. So what this means for the dispatcher is they have this vital, really hands-on role in protecting and serving the public, enhancing quality of life, generating and maintaining public trust, and, importantly, upholding individual liberties and constitutional rights. They're right there at the front lines.
Truly the first point of contact for public safety.
So given that constant pressure and just how critical the work is, it makes you wonder, what kind of person can actually thrive in this environment? It's clearly not for everyone. I mean, on the pro side, the job offers things like compressed work weeks, overtime opportunities, decent pay and benefits, job security.
Those are definite pluses.
And no 2 days are alike, which offers genuinely rewarding critical thinking. But then there's the con side.
Always a flip side.
Exactly. It's 24/7 shift work, rigorous training, often mandated overtime.
Yep.
And the need to make these quick, sometimes life or death decisions with, limited information, often under intense media scrutiny too.
That media scrutiny adds another layer of pressure. And building on that, beyond just the job description, what specific blend of abilities and personal traits really sets an exemplary dispatcher apart? They need strong cognitive abilities. We can break it down into 4 main areas. First, verbal understanding and conveying information clearly, often when things are chaotic.
Under duress, yeah.
Then reasoning, applying complex rules, thinking logically in really dynamic situations. Memory is huge, recalling crucial facts, details, maybe across several calls happening at once.
Okay, memory, that's interesting.
Sure.
How critical is that when they're juggling multiple emergencies? Are they recalling details from calls hours ago or?
It can be. Memory isn't just about, reciting facts. It's connecting pieces,
Yeah.
recognizing a voice, an address, building that mental picture of something unfolding, sometimes over hours or even between shifts. It's really paramount for an effective, rapid response.
Wow. Okay, and the last cognitive area.
Perceptual abilities. Quickly comparing information, shifting focus smoothly between different tasks or screens, multitasking on a whole other level. And beyond those cognitive skills, certain personality traits are just, well, non-negotiable.
Like what?
Tolerance of stress, obviously. Unwavering integrity, dependability, people are counting on you. Emotional control is key, adaptability, teamwork, and surprisingly, maybe a consistently positive attitude despite everything they deal with.
That positive attitude must be tough to maintain.
It is, but it's crucial for resilience and team morale. And all these attributes, they tie into what we can call the four essential characteristics for professional success.
Okay, 4 characteristics.
Yeah, first, good character. This is the foundation. Built on virtues like trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, good citizenship. It's their ethical bedrock.
Makes sense.
Second, proficiency. That's mastering the knowledge, the skills, the abilities, and combining it with sound judgment. Third, professionalism. Consistently upholding high ethical standards, always looking to improve, building that public trust.
And the fourth.
Leadership. And this isn't just for supervisors, even from the console. It's about taking charge when needed, influencing others positively, setting an example for the whole team.
It's fascinating. There's that quote, too, from Captain Dickus about being the unseen support for deputies.
Great. I will be searching for the things you cannot see. I will be quick to send help. Know that I am always watching over you. That really speaks to that unseen bond, that leadership and protective role.
It paints such a vivid picture of that responsibility.
Okay, so as we delve deeper, it's becoming really clear why dispatchers are held to this exceptionally higher standard. It's not just a job description, is it? It's a commitment. Public faith, public trust, like you said, etched onto the badge.
Absolutely. And that high standard means constant vigilance, especially with ethical decision-making, which can get incredibly nuanced. Training really emphasizes never letting personal feelings, prejudices, or friendships influence decisions, ever.
That sounds straightforward, but how does it play out in reality? Well, it's crucial because even though they're colorblind, they can't physically see the caller. Implicit biases can still be triggered
How so?
by non-visual cues, maybe an ethnic-sounding name, the location of the call, even an accent. These become potential danger zones,
Wow.
places where unconscious bias might, inadvertently affect how they assess urgency or credibility. So the training aims rigorously to ensure equitable service delivery, regardless of race, gender, socioeconomic status, anything like that.
Yeah, that's incredibly subtle, though, and challenging to combat. How does the training actually address something like an ethnic-sounding name triggering bias? Is it specific techniques or more general awareness?
It's really multifaceted. Part of it is building that deep awareness that these biases exist in everyone. Then they integrate specific exercises into scenario training. They practice active listening, focusing on factual cues, not just emotional tone. And they're coached constantly to adhere strictly to those criteria-based dispatch protocols we mentioned. Those are designed to be objective, to minimize subjective interpretation.
So it's about hardwiring a systematic, impartial response.
Exactly. Less about spotting a specific trigger, more about ensuring the process is fair for every single call.
Okay. And on top of the bias challenge, they handle incredibly sensitive information daily.
Oh, constantly. We're talking HIPAA-protected health information.
Right.
Medical details people share during emergency calls, that's highly confidential.
Right.
Plus, they access confidential law enforcement databases like CLETS in California, the law enforcement telecommunications system.
What kind of info is in C-Leets?
Sensitive stuff, criminal histories, vehicle registrations, warrants, critical for officer safety and investigations, but highly confidential. And accessing this comes with incredibly strict rules, like no sharing background checks or criminal history with private parties, ever.
Makes sense.
And medical information gathered on a call can't be released to, say, other prospective employers under the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. Plus, all calls, all radio messages, they're recorded and monitored. That reinforces the constant need for awareness about confidentiality.
So with all this sensitive info and these critical decisions, the question of legal liability must loom large.
It does. Now, generally, 911 dispatchers have what's called sovereign immunity from civil liability for simple negligence. That applies in most states, including California.
So basic mistakes are generally protected.
Generally, yes. But that immunity is not absolute. They can lose it. Their agency can lose it.
Yeah.
If their actions are proven to be the result of gross negligence, that's defined usually as a really, really big mistake, something far beyond simple carelessness.
Okay, gross negligence. What else?
They can also lose immunity for willful or wanton conduct, basically, or reckless disregard for safety, or for intentional misconduct, which means knowingly causing harm. And they can even face civil rights claims if they discriminate against a caller based on protected characteristics.
This is where the theory meets reality, isn't it? And it really brings the stakes into sharp focus. Let's look at that case you mentioned earlier, Mauve City and County of San Francisco. This seems like a perfect illustration.
It really is a landmark case in this area.
So walk us through it. 1998, Angelique Chan has a severe asthma attack. Her husband, a security guard, they call 911. The dispatcher, Martha Cody, actually had paramedic training herself.
Right, which makes what happened next even more concerning.
She was sitting right next to the criteria-based dispatch guidelines, the CBD protocols, but she didn't use them.
Didn't use the tool designed for exactly this situation.
Despite hearing screaming, hearing the words, "I can't breathe," seeing signs the patient's condition was getting worse, Cody initially characterized the call as OD, bizarre, aggressive, violent.
Which is a completely different category, of course.
Totally different. And based on that characterization, she sent police first. Code 2, that means no lights or sirens.
A non-urgent response.
Exactly. And the paramedics. They were told to stand by, to stage nearby until police clear the scene.
Okay, but wait. If she had paramedic training, why mischaracterize it so badly? Did the sources give any insight? Was it just an oversight or maybe some kind of ingrained habit from other calls?
The sources don't explicitly state why she deviated so drastically, other than she simply didn't use the CBD. But the consequences are clear.
And the CBD guidelines, the protocols she should have used, explicitly stated what?
They explicitly stated that persons who are short of breath or cannot talk in full sentences because of respiratory distress have a significant impairment and should have Code 3 evaluation.
Code 3. Lights and sirens. Aiming for arrival within 8-10 minutes, the highest priority medical response.
Exactly. And her own supervisor later stated that if he'd known about the shortness of breath, he absolutely would have upgraded the call to Code 3 immediately.
So the delay was significant.
Huge. The paramedics arrived 10 minutes after the police finally got there. The total response time ended up being around 20 minutes.
20 minutes for a severe asthma attack.
And tragically, Miss Chan died.
So the court case, what was the finding?
The court found that the city could be held liable. The dispatcher's actions mischaracterizing the call, delaying the appropriate medical response, deliberately not following the established protocols, were seen as more than just simple negligence.
So it crossed the line into gross negligence.
Exactly. The court described it as exhibiting an indifference that is intolerable in the important life and death context. This case really underscored that while dispatchers generally have immunity for simple mistakes, they don't for gross negligence, reckless disregard, or intentional misconduct.
It's such a stark reminder. Every decision has to be legal, ethical, and effective, not just aiming for an acceptable outcome, but the best possible result.
It really shifts the burden, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just following rules, it's exercising sound judgment, even when the rules might seem to allow for less. Acceptable isn't good enough when lives are on the line.
Precisely. Which brings us back to how they make these critical ethical decisions under that intense pressure. Training involves specific models. One approach is applying an ethical lens.
An ethical lens, what does that involve?
It encourages them to filter decisions through various perspectives, like diversity and inclusion, ensuring equitable service. Justice, focusing on fairness. The precautionary principle, basically. Acting to prevent harm even if you don't know the full risk yet.
Better safe than sorry, essentially.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Also considering their duties, their professional obligations, moral leadership setting the right example, caring, showing empathy, and using a moral compass, asking themselves, could I sleep at night with this decision? Or would I want this handled this way if it were my family?
That's a powerful internal check.
And finally, equity ensuring fair outcomes for everyone involved. The whole process emphasizes understanding the facts first, recognizing the ethical problem, identifying the rights and duties involved, generating different possible actions, and then assessing the justifications to arrive at the most equitable outcome possible.
So it's definitely about more than just mechanically following a rule book. It really boils down to character counts.
Absolutely.
And you can see how easily a dispatcher's actions, even off-duty, could impact that public trust.
Oh, easily. Think about posting gruesome call details on social media. That's a huge breach.
Or running an unauthorized background check on a friend using SILETs.
Definitely illegal and unethical.
Or even something seemingly smaller, like accepting free meals just because you're 911 men. These actions, they might seem minor to some, but they erode that vital public trust piece by piece.
They absolutely do. And on the job, personal feelings or values can clash with professional duty. We saw examples in the sources using sarcastic tones with callers, berating someone for what seems like a trivial call, chastising them for not knowing legal jargon. These can have really serious consequences. That public trust is fragile.
Okay, so you get through the selection process, you have the right traits,
Yeah.
then comes the training, and it sounds like it's nothing short of intense.
Intense is probably an understatement for many.
California, for instance, requires a POST-certified public safety dispatcher's basic course. That's the state standard.
Minimum of 120 hours. Covers everything from ethics to critical incident response. It's the absolute foundation, like building the strongest possible base for a house.
Right, the foundation.
And then immediately after that, there's the ongoing on-the-job training phase with communications training officers or CTOs.
CTOs, these are experienced dispatchers who train the new hires.
Exactly. And they are constantly evaluating you, demanding excellence, documenting everything. It's a notoriously stressful process. As one CTO bluntly put it to a trainee, "You will be my backup one day." That really drives home the seriousness.
And no pressure there.
None at all. And the personal investment required is significant. Our sources share some really poignant real-life accounts from trainees.
Yeah, like what?
One trainee described it as learning an entirely new language, a new culture, said it consumed their daily life. They had to sacrifice gym time, seeing friends, even family time, just to keep up and succeed.
Wow, total immersion.
Another realized that the tough love they were getting from their CTOs wasn't arbitrary. It was specifically designed to prepare them for the harsh reality of citizens calling on their worst possible day.
That makes sense. Preparing them for the emotional impact, too.
Exactly. And a third trainee shared an incredibly powerful story. She used her newly acquired emergency medical dispatcher skills, the EMD protocols, to actually save her own father's life after he had a severe nosebleed at home.
No way.
Yeah. She realized in that moment the profound, immediate impact of having the right training and being able to make quick, correct decisions, even in a personal crisis. It validated everything she was learning.
Those stories really bring it home. It highlights that the best dispatchers, the exemplary ones, they don't just wait for conditions of success to appear. They actively create them.
That's a great way to put it. Self-accountability is key.
If you're confused about a protocol, you seek help immediately. If you're struggling with a skill, you practice relentlessly. The sources mention techniques like meticulously reading assigned materials, actively participating in drills and simulations, joining study groups, and even practicing skills outside of work. Little things like phonetically reading license plates you see on the road, or trying to type everything you hear on TV just to build speed and accuracy.
Those practical exercises make a difference.
It's also about finding that crucial balance, isn't it? Between humility, knowing you don't know everything, and self-confidence, trusting your training and abilities.
A very fine line to walk.
And maybe most crucially, fighting cynicism. Staying positive when you're exposed to so much negativity day in and day out. That must be a constant battle.
It truly is. Burnout and cynicism are real risks in this profession. Staying positive requires conscious effort, and the learning, it really never stops. This profession is constantly evolving.
How so?
Technology changes rapidly. New software. AI is starting to play a role. Societal expectations shift. Laws and protocols get updated.
So basic training is just the beginning.
Absolutely. Beyond the basic course and CTO training, there are numerous professional development opportunities. Dispatchers can pursue advanced certifications like the Emergency Number Professional, the ENP, or get specialized EMD certification.
EMD, like the trainee who saved her father.
Exactly. They can become CTOs themselves, training the next generation, or become a lead dispatcher, or even a tactical or incident dispatcher coordinating major events directly from the field or a command post.
So lots of paths for growth.
Definitely. And they can also influence the profession more broadly through public education efforts, community projects, joining professional organizations like NINA or APCO. They are, in every sense, the first responders and a truly vital, indispensable part of the entire public safety mission.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, it's just abundantly clear that being a public safety dispatcher is so much more than just answering calls and sending help. It's this demanding, dynamic, deeply ethical profession. It requires immense integrity, sharp judgment, and a real commitment to continuous growth. These really are the unseen heroes, standing right at that crucial intersection of crisis and care, making split-second decisions that directly impact lives and upholding that public trust we talk so much about.
Yeah, the journey of an exemplary dispatcher is definitely one of constant learning, profound responsibility too, and just unwavering dedication to others, often facing significant personal and professional challenges along the way. Their ethical compass, their legal understanding these, are just as critical as their ability to multitask under extreme pressure.
So here's something to think about as we finish. Given this evolving landscape, we touched on technology like AI-assisted dispatch, shifting societal expectations around policing and emergency response. What new ethical dilemmas might public safety dispatchers face in the next decade? And how will their unwavering commitment, that core mission to serve, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent, how will that continue to be tested, and how will it be defined in the future?